welcome back to the Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry here at the Anime Podcast. I'm from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and other relevant topics we're talking about. Today's video is on Tokyo Ghoul, chapter 72 to 79. And it's basically the summation of all of Tokyo Ghoul Season 1, especially everything they left out, and where it actually ended. Because where Tokyo Ghoul 1 anime ends is not the same way that Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 manga ends. Or not Season 1 manga, but where the manga ends for Season 1. So, drastically two different endings, and neither are the same. So, one thing I'm going to say now, before we even get into the video, is do not watch the Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 anime. It is not canon. The ending's definitely not canon. But there's a lot of things that were cut. You get a lot more from the manga, so I cannot recommend the Tokyo Ghoul anime. And again, if you watched my previous video about Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 / talking about the fight between Kaneki and Yamiori / Jason, you know exactly what I mean. There's a lot of stuff that's been left out, a lot of context clues. Takuya and Ayato's backstory completely left out. I cannot recommend the Tokyo Ghoul anime at all. But anyways, for now, let's continue with this video. And then I will watch Season 2 anime and give you guys my thoughts as I catch up with Tokyo Ghoul manga and get a little bit further. But right now, I definitely do not recommend the anime at all. So anyways, when we last left off, Kaneki got Banjo and his group out, and he went back to save Takuya, which was in the anime, but not him saving her. I think... Yeah. So Kaneki, the part that was in the anime was Kaneki did save Banjo and his group, but he didn't go back to save Takuya. He did that, and then I think the Season 1 anime just ends, with Kaneki joining the Agori tree, which does not happen in the manga. And then and we never saw this fight between Takuya and Ayato in the anime. And so none of this even happened. So from here on, it's just all new information. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Sorry about that break. We also learned that he even saved Nishio. Again, this whole interaction is missing from the anime. This whole interaction is from the anime. The reason why I feel like this should be included is because Nishio was originally the ghoul that tricked him first. Well, second, because Rise is the first ghoul that tricked him, and then Nishio tricked him as well. Or he was on the Nishio. No, Nishio tricked them. And then, and then he attacked Hyde and whatever like that. But anyways, yes, we know Nishio. It's they became somewhat friends, but it's just important to me that he saved Nishio, because I'm okay, this is the ghoul that tricked you and tried to kill your best friend, and now you're saving him. I feel like that's some cool context that the anime needed. But he's even more stunned that Kaneki's in full ghoul form, because he knows Kaneki's a half ghoul, but Kaneki looks completely different, whole white hair, ghouled out face, ghoul aura given off. I'm Nishio seeing that full change, and Kaneki seems like a big deal, or it should be a big deal. Again, this whole interaction should be a big deal, but it's not. They together go to save Takuya, and then we're now back in the present day where, Kaneki has saved Takuya. I think that's where the chapter had ended, the last video, where Ayato was about to kill Takuya, and then Kaneki grabs her and holds her. So this is a one-page quick flashback of what happened to get us to this point. Now, like Nishio, she is caught off guard by his change, but at least there's some interaction before they remember that Ayato is still there. They have a brief chat. She notices that he looks different, and she comments on it, but I don't know. It's needed because obviously Kaneki's being a full ghoul. If she just ignored that and acted like it was natural, that'd be something say Naruto goes Nine-Tailed Fox cloak mode, the first form, and no one reacts to it. They're just thinking it's Naruto. But in that arc when he's fighting Haku and Zabuza, the characters did notice that Naruto had kind of change. So that's what I mean. They needed that, but they also remember they're in the middle of a fight right now. Nishio then gives Kaneki his ghoul mask that Yuta made for him. I thought that was kind of cool because, again, the CCG are still sweeping. They're fighting the one-eyed owl. They're sweeping the Agori tree from last we recall. So they're there. So if they find Kaneki and Ayato fighting, like they're gonna recognize you. Say, put this mask on so you can like hide yourself. That's before Ayato gets this insane panel of him attacking, which is really cool. I'm gonna show this panel off. I just thought it was really dope how like Ayato was drawn again, because I talk about Stone, I talk about Tokyo Ghoul simultaneously. These are some very distinct drawing styles. You know, One Piece has its own drawing style, Bleach has its own drawing style, but like these drawing styles are very unique and distinct, and I really like that. Kaneki doesn't attack at first, however, because he's conflicted that though he's gone full Ghoul mode, there's some parts of him that still have his humanity intact, and Kaneki wants to defeat Ayato, but doesn't want to kill him because Takuya will be sad. So he's like, while Ayato's attacking him, Kaneki's like, if I kill you, which is what I want to do because you would hurt me and you would hurt my friend, Takuya will be sad. But if I don't kill you, you're going to kill me and you're going to hurt Takuya again. So he's like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do. And then he has like he gives them the same like vice versa feeling to Ayato. He's like, well, you also had a chance to kill Takuya, but you didn't do it. Like, you keep saying you want to kill her, but you're not actually trying to kill her. Like, you had every opportunity to do it. So again, it's something I had mentioned before, like, Ayato was given like an Itachi kind of feeling, like an Itachi vibe, where like Itachi said he wanted to kill Sasuke, but he really loved his brother. He never had any intention of killing Sasuke. Sasuke was his favorite person in the world, and he would do anything to protect his brother. So when the third Hokage ordered him to kill the Uchiha because they was rising up, they was about to like take over, Itachi was able to kill all of them, including his mother and father, who were like a part of that plan. Even though he was sad about it, his father's like, "Hey, do it. You can do what you gotta do. We know you're a soldier for the village." Itachi couldn't kill the brother. He couldn't kill the last Uchiha. And so Ayato, it's not that like Takuya's the last ghoul, but like it's his older sister. Like, he cares about her. He loves her. So he's like, you damaged her, but I know something else is going on. But for now, Kaneki's like, I'll settle for killing you half to death, which is great and gives an intimidating panel, like the way Kaneki is standing over Ayato. It even more shows off that Kaneki is not his normal self, because Kaneki, his humanized side, that's like, oh, I don't want to kill you because I'll make Takuya sad, that's definitely Kaneki. That's the Kaneki we know. But the Kaneki that's like, oh, I'm gonna just I'm gonna half kill you, like, that ain't Kaneki. That's definitely Rise's personality taking over. And at first, Ayato is back talking his shit until Kaneki explains that he's got the higher ground. I'm sorry, that's Star Wars little thing. Anyways, Ayato is a long range fighter, while Kaneki is close range, and so he's saying as long as staying close to you, like, you can't do nothing. Like, you're a long range fighter. You won't be as strong as if you fight up close. And at first, it seems like he's gonna be. At first, it seemed like things are going Kaneki's way, and I'm like, until Ayato was like, I'm an all-around fighter. Like, you thought I was only long range. I was doing long range just to keep you at a distance, but I'm good at close range too. I'm an all-around fighter. So then it's like back and forth, which I like. I like fights that are back and forth. I don't like a one-sided fight. It's not, even though, like, a couple chapters ago, we found out, like, Tokyo Ghoul has its own, like, Pokemon thing, and if you see my video about, like, I think it's like power scan. I made a video about talking about power scan, like the rock paper scissors effect, which Pokemon does it best. Grass beats water, which beats fire, which loses to, and grass loses to fire. I call it the rock paper scissors Pokemon effect. And Hunter x Hunter does it too. Like, this is stronger than this. Conjurers are stronger than manipulators. Yada yada, whatever. And Tokyo Ghoul did that with the different types of ghouls as well, but it got complicated. I didn't want to get into that. Watch some previous videos on it or just look it up. But I was like, okay, so this kind of defeats that purpose, because Ayato is supposed to have a weakness based off of what we learned from Tokyo Ghoul. Or what we learned a couple of panels ago about their rock, paper, scissors effect. Anyways, back on the roof, 2-armed CCG investigators are going head-to-head with the one-eyed owl. These are the guys we met before. I think one of them's name is Shinohara. I forgot the other guy's name again. This was like 2 minutes tops in the anime, so I never caught their names. And Tokyo Ghoul introduces a lot of characters at once. We don't really get them fleshed out. We don't really know them like that, so I didn't really take notes of their names. But I can now confirm that it's the anime. I was kind of spoiled about how their Kaganes worked. It's like a suit of armor that they wear, and while they're wearing it, it gives them the like abilities of a ghoul, but it also eats away at their flesh, their human flesh. So the armor is protecting them and powering them up, but at the same time, it's eating them alive. So, but here it is fleshed out more, like how it works and stuff like that. In the anime, it's like a 1 minute, 2 minute scene again, like that they wear this armor, they talk about eating them alive, and then they fight, and then again, that fight's off screen. I don't even remember how that fight ended in the anime. I don't even think it did end in the anime. I think season 1 just literally just ended. But anyways, yeah, and here it's more fleshed out. They also go on about Ariyama again, which this is a new CCG investigator we knew about before. He apparently wounded the one-eyed owl, like cut off his arms. But nothing was really learned about him that like was worthwhile noting, other than he took out the one-eyed owl's arms. So it seemed like he was naturally talented, like he was the only one that could do that. And he got in close with Al, like up close in contact combat. And at first, the way they talk about it, they make it sound like Ariyama died. But then, some point in this chapter, you find out Ariyama is alive, and he might be one of the Agori tree. That's speculation. That's not confirmed. But it's the way like the panel cuts off. But yeah, Ariyama's confirmed to be alive, and he's the one that wounded the one-eyed owl. In the end, though, the owl seems to be too much for the group, and despite they aren't dead yet, they are losing, and they talk about using a desperate measure. So I was like, okay, what's going on? Because the one-eyed owl is like not really taking much damage from them, and they're like, okay, we gotta do something because he's killing us. He's wiping the floor with us, even with this armor on. And so I was like, okay, maybe this desperate measure is gonna take him out. But again, the way they hyped up this one-eyed owl and his random just appearance, I'm like, he can't go down this easily or this fast if he's like might be the big bad of this manga. But before we can even learn what the desperate measure is, we then flash back over to the roof, back to Ayato and Takuya, because Ayato, Takuya, and Kaneki, because these two fights are happening simultaneously. Ayato begins to deal serious damage to Kaneki, even obliterating parts of his body, which I thought was pretty cool. The way it's shown, it gives me like some kind of Dragon Ball Z shit. Like Kaneki's trying to defend himself, and like he's getting blasted by Ayato's like wings or something like that. I'm not sure what his abilities are. I know they have like wings, like him and Takuya have wings. Well, Takuya has like a single wing, and then Ayato has like these two giant wings, which is kind of a theme. Like, what's her name? That girl Hinanami's mom have wings too. Not all ghouls have wings, I don't think. No, because Shu doesn't. But yeah, there's some kind of thing with wings going on. Anyways, Kaneki realizes something else. As strong as he is, he should be doing a lot more damage. I forget if he's talking about himself or talking about Ayato, but we'll see. Because I know I have some notes in here about it. So he asked him, what's he really hiding? Why is a guy like him in the Agori tree? He doesn't seem like he actually likes killing, although he boasts about it. Oh yeah, so he's talking about Ayato. He's like, you should be doing a lot more damage to me. You should have killed Takuya by now. Like, why does it feel like you're holding back? Like, you talk about killing, you boast about killing people, you laugh about killing your sister, but like, if you really intended to kill her, you should have been able to do so. Like, you're way stronger than her. You're a cannibalistic ghoul. You know, why isn't this fight ended yet? Which also sets Ayato off in a rage and a rant. And it was about this point I realized he wasn't actually going to be a true villain. Again, this is where the Itachi thing comes back up, where like, okay, Ayato never really intended to kill his sister. There's something going on where like he wants to protect her or something like that. From who? I'm not sure. Maybe the CCG, maybe the Agori tree. I don't know. But it's then confirmed that he was indeed protecting Takuya from Yamiori, because Yamiori had actually intended to kill Takuya back at Ataniku when Takuya tried to strike him. So if you remember back when Kaneki was first taken, Jason was interested in Kaneki because he smelled like rise. He was going to take him, and then Takuya tried to protect Kaneki, but like Jason basically one-shot her, and he was going to kill her. But then, you know, Ayato intervened, and he was like, stupid sister, you know, get out of the way or whatever like that. So he was really trying to protect her, but why he's with the Agori tree, we don't know. And, you know, why don't you just team with the Anti-Iku? We don't know that either. So it could be like they might have something on Ayato that, like, forces him to stay with them, or, like, maybe they're threatening to kill his sister. We don't really know his reason for joining the Agori tree, other than knowing for sure that sorry, that is really bugging me. Other than that, we know that he really hates humans because he intends to hide himself. So maybe he joined the Agori tree because he wants to stop hiding and be his true self, a ghoul. But he also knows that the Agori tree are more extreme about how they're going about about like killing humans. This is speculation. Maybe the Gory Tree are like, we're out to kill all humans. We're out to sweep the human race, sweep the CCG before they find out about us. And Ayato is just like, I want to just be, be myself, not have to hide, be a ghoul, eat humans, but I also don't want to risk getting myself killed like my mom and my dad did. And it could be something like that. That's my speculation about what Ayato is doing this for. But anyways, Ayato denies that he wasn't trying to protect Takuya, which we know is a lie at this point. But Kaneki is like, well, I'm done talking now, so I'm going to beat you half to death like I promised. Like, I just want you to know, like, I realize that you could have killed your sister, but you didn't. I also realize now that you don't want to kill your sister. You ain't even trying to fight me seriously. You're not about killing people, but a promise is a promise. That's not going to beat you half to death. I'm going to beat you half to death. He then goes on to this psychotic rant about what the definition of half-death is. If he destroys the lower part of his body, the upper half of his body could survive and live, but vice versa, if he destroys the top half of his body, he'll just be dead. He's like, so yeah, like if I destroy your lower half beneath your stomach or beneath your waist, you'll survive. You just, ain't gonna have no legs to walk on. But if I destroy your upper half of your body, you're just gonna die because that's where your heart and brain is, and you need that to live. So he's like, what to do? Choices. So instead, he settles on destroying half of the bones in Ayato's body. I was like, this is definitely some psychotic shit. This is not Kaneki again at all. This is definitely Rise. This is definitely that ghoul part taking over. Kaneki is gone. Okay, Kaneki is not there. Or if Kaneki is there, Kaneki is half there. He says, I'm going to break 103 of them to be exact because the human body has 206. That's some crazy work. I was like, you're going to destroy precisely 103 bones. And he does go on to do so. He takes his time naming each and every bone he breaks, like some Yamiori shit would do, while Ayato is still conscious. He's like, this is your whatever bone, this is your that bone, this is your this bone. And he's like, okay, I broke all the bones in your arm. That's this many. Okay, now break half your ribs. This is that rib, this is that rib, this is that rib. I was like, that is some crazy ass work. Again, this is giving some Dr. Stone because, again, Dr. Stone, I felt like he's a science major, whereas for Tokyo Ghoul, maybe the author of the manga literally did look up each bone to, like, show how psychotic Kaneki has become, but also just kind of a really cool thing. Because of all of Ayato screaming, though, Kaneki drew the attention of the CCG, and I knew they would encounter him shortly because I start running to the roof. Because, this man is breaking your bones one by one, 103 in total. Start with half your arm, half your rib cage and down, and then half your legs down. Like, crazy work. They are easily dispatched, though, by another member of the Gory Tree. All of this, again, is stuff that wasn't in the Season 1 anime. After Kaneki defeated Yamiori, they then set Banjo's crew free. Oh, I've already talked about this. But again, I was like, this is stuff that could have been fleshed out in anime. This would have been cool to see Kaneki going full gore and torturing Ayato. Again, Season 1 is only like 12 episodes, maybe 13 max. And for the context, this is 79 chapters of Season 1. This could have fleshed out a little bit longer. Like, maybe about 26 chapters. 26 episodes. Even Dr. Stone, their arcs go about 20 episodes. I'm almost at 20 videos. They go about 20 episodes. So I'm like, if Dr. Stone could do that, and Dr. Stone was way shorter than this and way quicker than this, Tokyo Ghoul could have definitely fleshed this out a lot better and a lot more. But it's a pleasant surprise for me, so I guess it's fine because I prefer to read manga and then watch the anime because I like seeing the scenes play out after I read it. And reading is just more, I absorb better when I read stuff. But we then learn that the name of this new ghoul name is Noro, and I'm not sure what his Kagane is yet, but they cut him up literally into pieces. Like, oh yeah, so I think I'm missing a note here. Hold on one second. Oh, so I think what had happened was the CCG ran into this other ghoul named Noro in the Gory Tree. He cuts up these guys with this Kagane like into literal pieces. Like they cut in like tiny little slices. But luckily for Kaneki, he doesn't have to fight him as Yomo, Shu, and Yuta show up to save him. So I imagine what I haven't seen in the Season 1 anime has to be vastly different from the ending. Oh yeah. Okay, see, yeah. This ending is vastly different because so what I was speculating is that the ending of this manga, but at this point, it has to be vastly different than the anime because in the end of the anime, Kaneki goes off with the Gory Tree. Like that's how the anime ends. Like he leaves Banjo with with his crew. He goes back to the Gory He never runs into Shu. He never runs into Kuya. He never runs into Yomo, Mr. Yashimura, Hinanami. Any of them. He never runs into any of these characters from the Aryoku that came to save him. He just goes off of the Gory Tree. But the fact that that Yomo, Shu, and Yuta have shown up here, and they basically come to save Kaneki before like Noro can intervene, I was like, okay, this is already vastly different because this guy never showed up. I do love the aura coming off these three, though, and the way they are drawn. It's very intimidating and giving. The reason why this is a Shonen Jump manga, because Shonen Jump is known for a battle manga. And the way Yuta and Yomo and I think Shu's energy is given off on these panels, it was like, okay, these guys, they're like ready to fight. They're ready to fuck somebody up. The trio managed to literally kick Noro's head off, so you would think he'd be dead. I mean, no ghoul should survive decapitation. There's like very few monsters in mythology that can survive decapitation. I think zombies somewhat can, which is weird because in some iterations, you shoot a zombie in the head, they die. But in other iterations, you cut off a zombie's head, the body still moves. The body can still walk around and pick its head back up. But yeah, I was like, a ghoul, I feel like decapitation, they should just be dead. I don't know much about ghouls, but like, they're not exactly ghosts. You can't cut off a ghost's head. You can't decapitate ghosts. But like, a ghoul, you're a physical monster. If your head's cut off, I feel like you die. Because werewolves die like that. Vampires die like that. I don't know. I don't feel like a ghoul is above a vampire or a werewolf. But maybe he has some secret ability. Like fucking Muzan, who can move his 7 hearts and 7 brains, or 7 hearts, 10 brains, whatever the fuck it was, around his body. 5 hearts, 7 brains, whatever the fuck it was. But Noro doesn't seem to die. Somehow they even note that he can't be human because before the battle even continues, he puts himself back together and an alarm goes off, and he simply, like, after putting his body back together and the alarm goes off, he picks up Ayoto's body and leaves. They just let him go, which I thought was kind of random.
Let's go.
Wait a minute. So that's it? We're just gonna let them go?
Yeah. Because unlike them, we have class.
But they did get Kaneki, who they came to save. So I was like, I guess this is a satisfying ending for them. They're like, oh, you know, we got Kaneki back. We ain't got to fight this guy. He ain't even died when we cut his head off. So we ain't going to fuck with him. We can't take this guy on if he can survive that. Elsewhere, the CCG and the Gory Trees battle come to a close. And honestly, these characters are dying as fast as the characters in Demon Slayer. Like, most of the CCG just comes off as cannon fodder. Like, they're just dying left and right. So I'm not sure who to get attached to aside from Amon, if any characters at all. I'm guessing Amon and maybe Juzo, because Juzo's given off important. But aside from Amon and Juzo, and originally Mato, who I liked his crazy ass before he died. I still like his crazy ass, even though he crazy as fuck. I'm not sure who to get attached to in the CCG. But yeah, even the one at Al, I was like, okay, the alarm went off, peace, I'm out of here. The scene, though, that was in the Season 1 anime is Amon fighting and dispatching the P brothers with this new Kagane weapon in one slash. It was very short-lived, even in this manga panel. In the anime, it's just like, he cuts them up. You don't even know it's the P brothers. They just died. They're just cut up. But the scene is technically accurate because even in the manga / anime, he cuts them up in one slice. But it's unmemorable, and how it plays out in the manga is a little bit better, I think, because you can at least see the weapon. But while I do think the manga heists this weapon up, it's apparently better. It's apparently a heavy, unique Kaneki weapon, dual weapon that changes shape as needed. So it's like a shape-shifting dual sword. Cool, I guess. But once again, he dispatches the Penn brothers, like I said, in one slash. So it's not very impressive. Like, the way they were talking about this weapon that Mato left for you, I thought it'd be like, okay, this sounds to be something like crazy cool. And we do know that Amon is super strong. We've seen him ripped and working out and stuff like that. So it does make sense that like a heavy Kaneki weapon would probably be his choice of weapon. But the fact that it changes shape, we don't really get that. We saw it from one panel. Like, now, if the P brothers had fought him for a little bit longer, and like, you know, they take on different forms, or they take on different shapes, or they combine together, and then we get to see the Zord change shapes, that would have probably been a better way to show it off. But to just tell us that the Zord changes shapes, or the dual Zords change shapes, I was going to get that. And then show us how heavy it is. Show us like Amon struggling to pick it up or something like that. But like, we know Amon is strong, but if you show like, hey, it's kind of heavy, and he like strains himself, it'd been really cool too. Kaneki and Amon get to see each other again as the arc comes to a close. And I suppose this is supposed to be important because it's their last encounter. Like, Amon notices that Kaneki's fleeing, and he's like, oh, it's that ghoul from before to let me go. I want to talk to him again. And at the same time, Juzo set the tights on Kaneki as he pickpocketed him before in his first appearance. And Juzo's like, hey, it's that guy that I stole his wallet, you know, because they had interacted with each other for like a split second. Like, Juzo ran into Kaneki, stole his wallet, and Kaneki got back to the IT. He was like, oh, my wallet's missing. So I'm guessing like Juzo and Amon are going to be like rivals, but also rivals to Kaneki. I'm not sure where they're going with that, but I'm guessing it's hyping up like there's an encounter with those three coming up. Before the chapter ends, though, Juzo was confronted by Noro for killing Yamiori / Jason, and before he can retrieve his body, because Noro's just out there collecting bodies. He got Ayacho's body, he came for Jason's body, and before he can get him, Juzo decapitates Jason's head and takes it with him. He's like, hey, see ya, I'm out of here. And again, why Juzo didn't kill Noro, I don't understand, because Juzo is apparently like Mato. Like, I don't feel like Juzo would have ran from a fight. Maybe Juzo knows that Noro's stronger than him because, again, Auntie Iku, Shu, Yomo, and Yuta decapitated Noro's head, and they didn't work, so they took off. So maybe Juzo was like, okay, this guy's strong. I don't want to deal with him right now. But I'm going to take Yami. Jason said you ain't getting his head back. I don't know. I was gonna stop here, but it seemed like the arc is closing up, so I was like, we'll just finish it with its entirety. Because again, I knew the season 1 anime ended like that, so I was like, okay, this has to end somewhere near the end of the season 1 anime or manga. So, or again, the manga didn't have a season 1, but it has to end somewhere where I stopped watching in the anime. So I was like, let's just find out where that stops and see the differences. The last battle remaining is the CCG investigators versus the one-eyed owl. So this is where we see that their armored werewolf Kanekis are doing something to their bodies, but they're still alive. And in this fight, so even though they doubt they can kill the king, they are probably able to harm him, but in exchange, this armor consumes the human who wears it, but gives them upgraded strength of a ghoul. Okay, so yeah, in the anime, I was remembering from the anime, in the anime, the wearable Kaneki, it eats them alive, but it gives them the strength of a ghoul. Like, it gives them the speed, the strength. Not really like a Kagane, because it is a Kagane. It's a wearable Kagane, or a wearable Kaneki. But, yeah, that's the desperate maneuver. They're like, okay, the armor's protecting us, but now if we let it eat our flesh, we can move like a ghoul. We have the strength of a ghoul. So that was a desperate measure. So yeah, I was mixing up what I remember from the anime with the manga, but that's pretty much what happens. The one-eyed owl then goes into a philosophy like Nagato / Pain, talking about the cycle of hatred and pain. Not saying we're going to reinvent the wheel here, but again, Pain was more fleshed out. So when he talks about his philosophy about the cycle of hatred, it made more sense. It felt more impactful. But here, I'm like, sir, you're a monster / a cannibalistic ghoul. You're one to talk about pain and the cycle of hatred. Like, if you are a human that was turned into a ghoul, which is what one-eyed ghouls are supposed to be, maybe I'll understand. But we ain't even got no backstory on you. You just came out of nowhere, and you had to flee for your life. Or not flee for your life, but you just fleeing out of nowhere. I don't know. Maybe they're setting him up to have, like, a backstory with pain that could be similar. But I was like, don't give no Nagato speech right now. Like, you are not Nagato. You're not him. You're not important enough yet to, aside from being talked about back in the gourmet restaurant arc. We ain't getting much from you. Well, while all this is happening, the head commander gets a call from Aoyama asking him to send the remaining CCG to him. So this is where I got confused. Aoyama's alive. That's fine. He fought the one-eyed ghoul. He cut off his arms in close combat. He's alive. But then it switches over to these two ghouls standing over an unprotected Japan because all the CCG went to sweep the Gori tree. So I was like, are you trying to imply that Aoyama is one of these two ghouls? Or are you just saying, like, Aoyama didn't participate in the battle, but he knows that their ghouls have left, he knows that Japan has been left unprotected because you went to sweep the Gori tree. I'm not sure. That's what my speculation is, because the way it swaps over was just like too convenient. Anyways, we learned that one of them is Tatara, which we had met before. He's the leader of the Gori tree, but the one-eyed owl / one-eyed king, I think, is their leader. I think he's like the sub-leader or like lieutenant / second in command. And then there's this mummy-looking guy named Ito. So I guess Aryama wasn't them because in my notes that's what I have listed. So I guess Aryama's not one of them. Aryama just wasn't in the fight. The last thing we see is the gay lover of Yamayori. The gay lover of Yamayori. He's a clown mask ghoul, and he's with another ghoul from the gourmet restaurant. We saw him in the anime, and I think we might have saw him in the manga. He's a clown ghoul. You recognize him if you've seen the anime or read the manga. And they set their sights on collecting Kaneki as their new man. Like, like the gay lover's like, oh man, Jason, he was good. He was essentially killing, but he didn't fulfill all my needs. But Kaneki, he's a one-eyed ghoul who's suddenly become a full ghoul. He killed my man. Oh yeah, he's gonna be worth it. So I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, that's fine. I have nothing against gay characters. I'm a gay man, but I just thought it was kind of random. Like he's like, oh, I was at my sights on Kaneki. Like, Shu wants to eat him because he's a one-eyed ghoul that has now gone full ghoul. And then you got, the spoilers, but we're almost done anyway. And then you got just gay lover that's upset with him because he killed Jason, and Jason wasn't really fulfilling his needs. And then Mr. Yashimura wants Kaneki for whatever his reasons are. We don't know what his reasons are. Anyways, meanwhile, Team Auntie Iku regroups outside with Banjo's group. Again, none of this happened in the anime, so all this is new speculation or new information, and we'll just talk about it from here. I won't mention the anime anymore. Well, I'll mention something at the end, but not right now. But yeah, so this is all new to me. They confirmed that the battle is over, which is odd because I'm sure the one-eyed owl is still in combat at this point, unless we're just dropping that. That's what I mentioned in my notes. I was like, the one-eyed owl is apparently still in combat with the CCG, but I guess we're not worried about that. Like, I'm not concerned with the one-eyed owl. Well, I went back and I looked, and apparently the one-eyed ghoul had fled. Oh yeah, so the one-eyed owl did flee after he said his philosophy about hatred. So yeah, the one-eyed owl left. He just up and left in the middle of the fight. And so the two CCG investigators that were wearing that wearable Kaneki that was eating them alive, they survived because the Kaneki armor didn't get to finish them off, I guess. So yes, very drastic ending as Kaneki ended up with the gore tree in the anime, which I did find random as fuck. So that's in my notes. But yeah, Kaneki ended up with a gore tree at the end of the anime. Even though like he just got tortured by Jason, they wounded Takuya. I was like, it's kind of random that you would just go with them for no reason. So I didn't like that ending anyway. But as I read a few pages further, Kaneki does tell the group that he doesn't intend to go back with them to Auntie Iku, so that there's still something he has to do. So I was like, okay, maybe the anime had jumped ahead in something past where I read, because where I read in the ending, that doesn't happen. He doesn't go with the Agori tree, but he does say he has something to do on his own. So I was like, maybe in the next part I read past this, chapter 80, he does join the Agori tree. But hopefully we get like a better reason. But for now, we don't know why. And also, 2 people go with him. So the group is understandably pissed, especially the Kuya. I mean, they nearly died saving his ass, but Kaneki's like, yeah, thanks for risking your life for me. I'm glad you came, but apparently I had the strength all along inside of me to save myself, because after I killed Jason, like, no one else was after me. Yeah, I killed Jason. I went to save Manjo's group. I was good. So, yeah, thanks. I ended up saving your ass anyway, Takuya. Banjo then offers to go with Kaneki as a shield, as he's got a durable body, to which Kaneki happily agrees. So Banjo's leaving his crew behind. Banjo's like, the crew that relies on Banjo to protect him, or vice versa. Banjo's like, hey, I'm leaving them. I'm going to join up with you. And Kaneki's like, okay, cool, you can be my shield. But then another surprise is Shu, who offers to be Kaneki's Zord. He's like, hey, Kaneki, I want to stay with you. And really, real reason why Shu wants to stay with him is because, one, he wants to eat Kaneki. Kaneki's a one-eyed ghoul, and he tastes delicious, apparently. But then 2, Kaneki's now a full ghoul that was a human that became a one-eyed ghoul. And now he's like, oh yeah, you're gonna taste even better now. So Shu just wants to eat him. And at first, Banjo's about to protest, but Kaneki's like, no, I got this. Let me handle this. He's like, Shu, you can join me, but try some funny shit, and I'm gonna kill your ass. I fucking love that. That was hilarious. I love that, like, Kaneki's like, he's no longer falling for these ghouls bullshit that basically be like, oh, hey, trust me, I'll be your friend and then betray you. Because I'm like, the first time it happened, it was with Rise. It made sense because we got introduced to ghouls, and you know, the whole world basically knowing about them like a few chapters later. Secondly, he got tricked by Nishio. And thirdly, he got tricked by Shu. He got tricked 3 times. And I was always like, Kaneki, how you still falling for this shit? Everybody keep warning you. You know, Hyde said something was off about Nishio. And then Takuya warned you about Shu, and you ain't believe either one of them. So I'm glad that now you're learning your lesson. You ain't trusting these ghouls, and you definitely ain't trusting Shu. You can't trust them farther you can throw them. So I love that. Shu isn't even afraid, though, because he's having an even deeper ghoulgasm. Like, Shu's just turned on by a foodgasm. He's like, oh, man, I love that you're threatening me. This makes me even more excited to eat you alive. Like, again, crazy. But they're monsters, so what do you expect? Takuya is about to offer to go too, but he stops her in her track because he knows that she desires to blend in with humans. Kaneki's like, look, I was already human. I know it's like to be human. You don't. And you got your best friend out there, your hero, or whatever her name is. You know, you don't still got classes, don't still got school. Focus on that. You know, I'll come back for you one day. He gives her a heartfelt message as well, but I was like, okay, this is cute. Whatever. However, the ending of this arc is very vague about what Kaneki plans to do, as he says that the world is wrong and because of everything in it and that currently exists in it. And I have no idea how to speculate anything. I don't know how to speculate what's going to happen next. So that's into my notes. So basically, we're going to speculate together. Kaneki's saying that everything is wrong in this world and everything currently in it is wrong. Or everything is wrong in this world because of everything currently in it. I'm assuming he's going to go with the Igori tree in the next chapter. And then Banjo and Shu will be his subordinates. Or maybe he'll make his own crew. I don't know. I see what they're trying to do, like having a shield and a sword, and you know, Kaneki like building an army possibly, or maybe even trying to change the world, like where he'll like have ghouls and humans like intertwined. I'm not sure. That's my speculation. And then I know at some point Hyde becomes a ghoul because that was spoiled for me when I was looking early on in Tokyo Ghoul for thumbnail. But overall thoughts. The manga handles Tokyo Ghoul better than the season 1 anime. I cannot recommend anybody watch season 1 anime because there's so much context left out. Definitely watch episode 1. I think you'll find what episode 1. Watch up to episode 2 and then stop. Because by episode 3, you've already skipped 30 chapters. I'm telling you that. You've lost 30 chapters of information. You're going to be lost and confused. And the manga handles that very much better. So maybe watch the first 2 episodes, and if you're interested, read the manga after that. That's my thoughts. But yeah, speculation, I'm not sure. I have not gone past that. I'm actually trying to finish Dr. Stone first, so we can just focus on Dr. Stone. Just focus on Tokyo Ghoul, and then whatever new mangas I want to start after that. But anyways, that's all for this video. I don't want to drag this out for too long, so I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red Will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created.
I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love BK is right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.